Okay, I'm back. Okay.
All right, you can wait here for now. I'll inform our leader that you've arrived at the Temple of Silence. Sit tight until he comes to greet you.
So he's just gonna leave us here unattended?
They can't have been at the Oasis by chance. They were waiting for us. Whoever the leader is here, they were obviously counting on us showing up.
So this is the Temple of Silence. After leaving the rainforest, they hid themselves here?
Hey, look! That guy's coming back.
Don't worry. Someone will come and call for you soon.
What's your name?
Sorry, guess I was so delighted to see you, I forgot to... My name is Sethos. I'll be here if you need me, but I'm not planning on answering all of your questions. Other than that, you can occupy yourselves however you see fit.
So we're free to explore by ourselves.
Yep. I mean, I'm not worried about you running off. Cyrus is here. And unless I've misunderstood, you're all quite anxious to see him again.
He's right. Well, if we've got some time, we might as well take a look around. I never imagined that the...
That's King Deshret's technology for you, I guess.
We should be wary of our hosts. Still, at this point, we can be confident that the professor is safe and sound.
Hey, Sethos!
Sure. Although, I'm assuming by chat, you mean you have questions for... Not often. The Temple of Silence is a place of quiet and solitude. We don't get too many visitors. Yes, that was me. He insisted that nothing was off the table.
So you framed Cyrus for...
No. That's not entirely true. Let me jog your memory. Of course, Uraka was a great accomplice, really. Very cooperative with a little bit of wine in him.
Why did Cyrus leave for the desert as soon as he received the letter?
You'll have to ask him that one yourself. Certain things I can't answer for him. All you need to know is that he recognized our emblem, and it was his own choice to take the bait. What kind of question is that? He's the General Mahamatra, everyone in Sumer.
Right, but back at the Oasis, you can't have known who he was for sure, or you wouldn't have asked him, so...
I've lived in the desert my whole life. Guess you could say I've never had the pleasure.
Ugh, why does Paimon feel like this guy's not being straight with us?
Come on, we've only just met. If I give you all the answers up front, nope.
Really?
I have no need to go there. Not when the taverns are full of the Urakas of this world. Besides, we're well aware of what goes on at that place. Spies? It's not as clandestine as that. The city gates are wide open. Anyone's free to... Ah, here he is. Grandfather, the person you wish to see is...
Well done, Sethos. Greetings, one and all. I am Ba Moon, the current leader of the Temple of Silence. I know...
Professor!
Cyrus, are you...
Ah!
Ooh.
Watch what you're doing!
Oh, my apologies. We have no intention of causing you distress. Cyrus owes me his life. And to the Temple of Silence...
I wanted to end my feud with this old bag of bones before you caught up with me. Just leave, cyno. This is a matter between us two old men.
So that's why you didn't want to report the letter. You'd made up your mind to come here from the beginning. You won't.
Some things in life catch up with you, no matter what you do.
Cyno didn't make us do anything. We came here for the same reason he did. To rescue you. We'd appreciate you telling us the truth. Otherwise, it seems a little unfair on every...
My secrets are secret for good reason. Bringing them to light can...
You're afraid, aren't you? You can't bring yourself to speak of your past deeds to the students you nurtured as if they were your own children. You recognized our emblem because for many years you lived among us. Indeed, you all but became one of us. You knew as soon as you saw the letter that we, not Uraka, were the ones speaking to you. It threatened you only because you know what you did. For you, Cyrus, are a traitor. You once shared your learning with us, and joined us in our mission to revive the might of Hermanubis, to bring new hope, new opportunity. But then, you betrayed us. We both know what I said to you that day. That as the leader, I grant you permission to leave, but that one day, the sands of time will catch up with you. And when that day comes, you must pay the price you owe.
You really know how...
Hermanubis' might? And the wielder of his power?
Does he mean you?
Professor.
The moon is right. He rescued me from the brink of death once, many years ago in the desert. The moon proposed that we implant bar fragments, shards of Hermanubis into the bodies of many believe it. One other child.
For many years, the test subjects were sent into a room that had been... The original plan was for as the second stage began, but as I was deliberating, both bar fragments suddenly became active. Our two vessels had both displayed to preserve our faith.
Ultimately,
in recognition of your past contribution, I have always wanted to see you, cyno. Losing you and your bar fragment dealt us a devastating blow. We've been in decline ever since you left.
I see.
Look, in essence, I borrowed your bar fragment for a decade or so. And now you are seeking justice. But you cannot lift a finger against Cyno. He is the General Mahamatra. Your actions would be seen as a declaration of war against the Academia.
I'm sure you don't remember anymore, dear Cyno, but you've met us all before. You and he, Sethos. You were...
You'd like me to return my power?
As a follower of Hermanubis, I have allowed this power to remain in the rainforest for far too long. Now, it is time to reclaim it.
I either saw that guy glitch off his chair.
That power is not yours.
You are wrong. Cyno was
So those are your terms for freeing the...
Despise me all you want.
So what you're saying is...
Divine power causes great suffering to those who wield it. How do you know that Sethos would be able to withstand it?
He is no longer a small child, but...
Both my heart and...
Don't listen.
I know.
Sorry to interrupt. Say that Cyno refuses to return his power. You're trying to gauge where we stand while
Wait. Everything we have longed for, Hermanubis will provide. Perhaps
How are
this
you?
very day we'll...
Why is he coughing so much?
Pamoon, you...
Take our leader back to his room.
That's good.
Grandfather, I don't like to drag out conversations, so had Cyrus not stopped the experiment all those years ago? Still, it's no, I'm not like my grandfather. But I see things a little differently. So I'm not going to force your hand. You're all free to leave.
You have courage. I just... Oh, and things will only continue to improve. Why not consider cooperating with the academia?
If you hadn't betrayed my grandfather...
Tighnari made a... All you and Ba Moon are after is the Ba fragment. The professor will accept whatever fate you deem fit for
I
him,
bet he
out of a
is.
sense of guilt. I am the one who has a choice to make. And that's how it was always going to be. Ultimately,
I'm glad to see you're giving it some
I won't forsake my profession.
That works. Then I'll be waiting to... Oh, my grandfather's...
Are you sure about
I need to think that...
Alright, well, don't put too much...
Those memories. So dark.
I've taken some time to reflect on this. If I had to guess, Professor Cyrus came to the desert knowing that he would almost certainly never return.
Hi, Bryce.
He's a stubborn man.
I agree.
So that you've heard all you need to... My own memories of this place are hazy, though. Probably something to do with the overpowering presence of the Ba fragments.
Again. Yeah,
I do
except I'm
remember
the
having
one
some
live
fleeting
streaming.
moments of profound emotion when vague images would... I was still young then, and all I could understand was that there was a strong will inside my mind. Thinking back on it now, the power that came to inhabit my spirit was probably one of the cornerstones of their whole faith. So if the will and might of Hermanubis is a real, intangible thing...
You're not gonna give in to their demands, are you? Surely there has to be another way.
No, I have no intention of returning it. I need this power to protect Sumeru. But the temple has the right to make the final decision over its fate. So I will challenge them head on, and win the right to wield this power for myself, fair and square.
This reminds me of something Alhaitham mentioned to me just before we left. He said that the Temple of Silence was originally founded by the ruling elite of the day. Traditionally, such organizations are bound by... Kaveh has made similar observations about the desert tribes from his work trips there. He says many of them have their own internal rules. They talk about the importance of never dishonoring their tribal bond. I think we could turn that to our advantage. Go back to them with a proposal of our own.
Wow, and just like that, we've turned the tables on them.
Looks like we have the same idea. Turn it back on them now while we still can. In terms that they cannot
Paimon,
refuse.
can I eat you?
That's how we win this.
Great. And I know just how to start the conversation. Let's go find Sethos. We'll tell him that I know a thing or two about medicine, and
Oh my god, there's so many.
Sethos, let's talk.
Have you made up your mind?
we'll get to that. But first, I have some degree of medical training, so I was wondering if you might...
I have no objections, although we do have our own doctors here.
Only one way to find out.
Follow me. Keep your voices down. We don't want to disturb.
Keep your voices down. You don't want to disturb him. And he's sleeping.
Let's talk outside. Bamoon has fallen into a deep coma, and his prognosis is quite grave. I'm sure that your physicians have come to the same conclusion.
Oh my god.
He appears to
Okay.
have regretfully, I must...
Yeah. I've known for a long time.
You're his heir, aren't you? You clearly have a lot of respect for the man. But you also see things differently. You have a broader range of concerns and a more pragmatic approach. So tell me...
Yeah, there's no time to waste here. You know that better.
You know, the two of you are actually in a very similar predicament right now.
Right. And you didn't create this situation. They did, but somehow you've ended up having to make the tough decision.
You're right.
Why do you keep
We
saying
both look at this problem
monkeys?
very differently than the... I accept.
Okay.
Legend has it that when that group of supporters were some of the first members of the Temple of Silence. And the sparring matches...
Sounds
Okay.
very fitting.
As a fellow vessel of Hermanubis, your tie...
3 against 3. Sounds good.
However, letting Cyrus leave with one of the Ba fragments was a mistake. Made by my grandfather out of...
None needed. If I win, the Temple of Silence must release Silence. If you win, I'll return my power to you.
It's a deal. Then let's meet at the ceremonial hall tomorrow evening. 8 o'clock.
Ooh, this is gonna be interesting. This game too. What? Wait. What?
Well, after how that went, there's definitely no turning back now.
Which
There
one are
never
you
was.
again?
Turning back hasn't been an option for me,
You have to win.
Yeah, that's right.
both as General Mahamatra and for myself.
Oh, what you? This is a Nick 830 stream.
Yeah. When you put it that way, I've had to overcome a lot to tame this power and claim it for myself. Not everyone can.
Exactly.
The Traveler and I?
And neither shall I. The desert was home to an ancient and great civilization that, for a variety of reasons, fell out with the civ. But there must be personal factors at work here, too. I can't shake the feeling that Bamoon cares for many more things than he lets on. And I don't think... Tomorrow,
Oh, gotta use the clock again. This. Oh my god, really? That's a lot.
We gather on this day to perform once more the rite of duels, with the greatest of all sages, Lord Hermanubis, as our witness, for his power and authority is present in our midst. This is our most sacred of ceremonies, and no disruption from the audience shall be tolerated. Representing the Temple of Silence, the Defenders.
Just so we were just okay. Can you read
Grandfather,
the amazing digital
here.
circus? I mean,
A rite of duels,
I
after all.
could,
I know what I'm
but
doing.
I don't
Representing
have
the
like.
Academia.
Ready. We will fight to have our voices heard.
I mean, I guess I could.
Warriors, take your positions and we come not to debate what brings our challengers here, nor what will become of the defeated duelists. Duelists!
Huh? Are you sure?
I agree. She's very strong. Sending her out first will definitely intimidate the opposing side.
Okay, then you're second.
Sure.
We have decided.
So have we. Let's begin.
Duelists of the first bout, please step forward.
Rice pain. Oh, come on.
Don't forget, safety first! Hey, you there! You better play nice with her, or Paimon will make you regret it!
A little bit too much chatter from the audience over there.
Hey!
Hi.
A swift end to the first bout. I now invite the duelists of the second bout to please step forward. When you're both ready, you may begin.
Let's begin.
I don't see either.
Watch out!
Okay.
He drank plenty of water before the bout, so he should be fine.
Oh shoot.
Can't see? And shroud! Keep up! I'll uproot you! Keep up.
One with the forest. Yeah. Keep up.
Just down to one.
Keep up. Keep up.
Thus ends the second bout.
I'm ready.
So am I.
This is the final stage of the rite.
Well, this
When
might be
you're both
interesting.
ready, you may begin.
I am Sethos. Vessel, for many years, we have kept our covenant with Lord Hermanubis. By guard, we earnestly sought Lord. Now, I will fight.
I am Cyno, General Mahamatra of the Academia, student and successor of Cyrus, the Sage of Spontamod. I fight in defense of my power, my professor, and my nation. And you. I think you left some things unsaid. This is a sacred duel.
Everyone, old and young, fit and frail. My grandfather is a wise leader, but our faith has held us back. Times have changed. Then I thought of you, Cyno. You and I, each Ba fragment of Hermanubis stands for something different. Might. I once thought that the nature of our fragments...
I am more than just a warrior. I am...
Exactly.
The name Hermanubis has left its mark on both of us. So show me your answer, Cyno. Show me I can be more than my... Bring it on!
Well, this are really interesting.
That's all you've got? What happened to searching for your answer?
Ooh.
Fight's over. Do you yield?
You won.
Well then, looks like you found your answer.
I give his glory to you.
I've seen that light. That is the light of our Lord, the great Hermanubis, priest over all other priests. His spirit dwells within that lightning, and his will lives on. Once a warrior of Tynar, he emerged from the barren desert sands to serve the god king Al-Ahmar. After the death of the god king, Hermanubis gathered his followers and the Tynarian priests and led them to the city of Tule-Tula. There, they founded the Temple of Silence, and from that day forth, we became stewards of all knowledge that survived from King Deshret's civilization. Barely a century passed before war ravaged the desert. One by one, Eremite leaders took up arms against each other in battles that would devour what little remained of their civilization. Only the wise city of Tule-Tula was spared under the guiding hand of the Tynarians. But peace did not last. Coveting the knowledge of King Deshret, the beasts set their eyes on Tule-Tula. The king of Gurabad laid siege to the city and ordered the sages to surrender to him the Temple of Silence as proof of his victory. The ruling elite colluded with their oppressors, betraying the temple so as to hold on to their rule over the city. They declared that the knowledge guarded by the temple was the true cause of corruption. These were dark days, and we faced enemies on all sides. Our lord had long since exhausted his strength, keeping the forbidden knowledge introduced by King Deshret at bay. To ensure the temple's continued survival, he broke his being into many pieces and began the ceremony of Hermanubis' legacy, bestowing his power upon his mortal followers. With this power, the temple was able to defeat the tyrant's army. Yet,
no, you're not.
We were not hailed as heroes. Strange and unfamiliar as this power was, it struck fear into the people's hearts and drove them to reject us. In the end, the people of the temple and the Tule-Tula Tynarians left the city for good and made their way to the rainforest. What followed next was inevitable. The elite of Tule-Tula fell and were decimated. War engulfed the desert. And we wandered from place to place, always in hiding, all the while keeping close watch over our secrets and staying true to our mission. Betrayal forced us out of the desert and into the forest. Then mistrust drove us from the forest into the desert once more. We have lived in exile for far, far too long. Yet, today, the Temple of Silence has borne witness to the glory of Hermanubis once more. Thank you.
Ooh. Actually, that's pretty good.
How is it? Do you feel okay?
Grandfather.
Oh, that's sad. sorry.
Hey, Sethos. You'll get through this.
I know. I'll miss him.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I guess you were prepared for this. It's been a long time coming, huh?
Yeah, he's been on death's door for a very long time now. I think it was only through sheer willpower that he managed to hold on at this point. At least, he was able to see this chapter come to a close.
What's next for you?
Per my grandfather's last wishes, the Temple of Silence should submit to whoever possesses the largest number.
But that's never going to work, as I'm sure you realize. I'm the General Mahamatra. I am needed back at the Academia. I did foresee this possibility, and I gave it some thought. The fact is, I know next to nothing about the staff, records, and Sethos. Were it not for this duel, or indeed if you had other intentions, the Ba fragments would most likely be in your hands by now.
You really think so?
I do.
Still, I didn't think Bamoon looked very surprised by the final result. Perhaps he had an inkling that this would be the way things...
Well, in any case, since the Ba fragments are with me now, I guess I can call the shots. Sethos, I would like you to succeed Bamoon as the new leader of the Temple of Silence. You are more suited to the role than I, and I have complete faith that you will be an excellent leader.
But doesn't that render everything that we've been through up to now meaningless?
No, it doesn't. This experience has allowed us to become friends, which means that the Academia and the Temple of Silence will become partners once more. That's a much bigger deal than you might think, Sethos. You said yourself, times have changed. You have to believe that things can change for the better here at the temple too.
I will try. To be honest, I couldn't have asked for a better outcome.
Actually, part of me wonders whether Bamoon's intentions from the very beginning was just to create enough pressure to force us towards a duel. That way, no matter who won, one of us would have to surrender our Ba fragment, and the power of Hermanubis would be concentrated in one single person. Had you won, the Temple of Silence would have doubled its strength. And were I to win, he correctly anticipated that I wouldn't suddenly drop everything to become the leader of the temple, much less integrate the temple into the Academia by force. He knew that the temple's future would depend not just on the guidance of Hermanubis, but the support of the Academia too. His plan meant that whoever ended up succeeding him, they would have an easier time interacting with the Academia. With one single letter, he lured out the professor. No matter what happened after that, it would result in a net benefit to the temple.
And here I thought the General Mahamatra wouldn't care for all these trivial details. You're absolutely right. Grandfather and I considered this from every angle. We had to find a way to mend our relationship. Thank you for everything, Cyno. As a gesture of our gratitude, to those that you and Lesser Lord Kusanali deem worthy, the Temple of Silence has a wealth of information on King Deshret's civilization, more than any other organization in existence today. But you must be exceedingly careful with your selection of candidates, lest you lead humanity to repeat the same mistakes. By the way, Tainari, my grandfather was so happy to see you. You are a descendant of the Veluca Shuna, and we are the heirs. The story goes that King Deshret chose the sage Hermanubis from among the Tainarians and appointed him as his. He went on to fight many valiant battles with his Tainarian companions. The Tainarians who left Tuletula joined their human counterparts in the rainforest. A few centuries later, when some of the group returned to the desert, many of the Tainarians chose to stay. In all likelihood, though.
How fascinating. My father once mentioned that I was named after the Tainarians, but I never knew that my forebears had such a history with the Temple of Silence.
I like this story.
By the way, has anyone seen Cyrus?
Yes. Cyrus. You'll probably find him in my grandfather's room. He wouldn't show it in front of me, but I think he still has many fond memories of...
If it's true that you and your grandfather really planned for everything to turn out this way, then I guess he didn't really resent Cyrus as much.
Who knows? Perhaps...
Someone's got to make the decisions when history is at a crossroads. I will make a detailed report on all of this to Lesser Lord Kusanali. And I'm sure you'll have lots to attend to in the days ahead. If we're going to work together...
I will. Alright, well... Bye for now, everyone.
See you soon. Come hang out with us anytime.
What were you thinking, gallivanting off into the desert alone at your age?
Oh, please, will you stop?
What do you mean, what other choice? Do you mean to tell me that after all your years of learning, and sagehood no less, the only idea you could conjure up in that white-haired walnut of yours was to shoot off into the unknown like some hot-headed 20-year-old adventurer? A one-man suicide mission, hmm? That's the best idea that one of the finest minds of a generation could come up with, is it? It astounds me that...
All right, all right. What do you mean, bag of okay, look.
1 month? Try 3.
Inari's master is really laying into Cyrus.
Professor brought this on himself. Don't pay any attention to...
Wow, I haven't seen Master get this riled up in a long time. The last time he chewed someone out like this must have been back when I was still a student.
I think I'll go around and update everyone. Tell them the situation's resolved. We can go for dinner afterwards.
Makes sense. I'm in.
Paimon's coming too!
Hey, Kale.
You're back! Well, look who we have here. Would you mind explaining to me what has been going on this past few days?
All taken care of.
That does not answer my question. How could you be so When you run into problems, you really ought to ask for help, you know?
Now would not be a good time to attempt to argue with Farazan.
You're right.
It's not the first time that I've had to talk to you about this sort of thing either. You need to learn that there are times when the right thing to do is get a more experienced member of staff.
Kale, please do something.
He's giving me the signal. Say, Madam Farazan, I can see you're pretty upset, but, I was just wondering, remember that time you offered to give—
Huh? Wait, did I hear that right? Kale, you remember? Wonderful. Well,
Poor Kale getting dragged off like that. Also, check out Farazan acting like some sort of official
Kale! Cup.
Huh? What? Oh!
what do you mean, cup?
Oh, it's nothing. Just Master's way of reminding me to stay hydrated while I'm out and about.
It's code for let's reconvene at the cafe.
Oh, that's kind—
2 people left. Am I hallucinating? Or do I see Kaveh and Alhaitham engaged in—
We're just reorganizing all the books we used. Look, there's a whole mountain of them.
There's no rush. Nobody reads these books anyway.
My sincere thanks.
Yes, with your help.
I see. The Temple of Silence resorted to rather unique means of self-preservation.
And it sounds like they managed to preserve a whole load of ancient documents as well. I'd love to go check those out if I ever had the chance.
That day will come. The Temple of Silence is a hugely important organization, and we'll be sure to maintain good relations with— Now, as a token of my appreciation, I'd like to treat everyone to coffee.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds great. Although, after the last few days, I don't know if I can handle another coffee.
Sure.
And then, the Traveler just pounced on their opponent and knocked him right— Then there was Tainari. He put up an amazing fight, too. We ended up winning all 3 bouts. Whoa. Part of me wishes I'd been there to see it, but I'd have been biting my nails off worrying about you guys.
A truly edifying account of the events. Bereft of detail, but it has livened up the room all the same.
Hey, Paimon included all the juicy details. The Traveler just pounced and then waved their sword like this, then spun around and blocked.
Despite winning 3 bouts in a row, you still ceded the position of leader to him. That's very dignified of you, Cyno.
Of course. Being dignified comes with being a true champion.
I got to be a champion too for once. I've not sparred much with desert folk before. It was a pretty unique experience.
Yeah! Huge place! It felt like something right out of an epic poem! Imagine this. It was like there was—
Maybe save that one for later, Paimon. Dessert's here.
I think that'll do me for today.
Shall we stop off at the House of Dana again before heading home? We should probably finish putting all those books back.
My thoughts exactly. See you around.
For once, they're not fighting.
I should get going as well. See you all later.
I need to go say thanks to the Core 30 for their help. Also, Sir Nephis says he wanted to introduce me to some of the Academia's work processes.
Kali's come a long way. She's much more confident at
Everyone's a work in progress. You never stop learning.
Yeah, true.
That was good. It feels like everything's finally wrapped up now. Life is all about these moments when you can finally relax and hang out with good friends after a...
Do you three have anything planned for the rest of the day? If not, would you come somewhere with me? That's a secret for now.
Okay. I think I can guess what you're talking about.
Well, now Paimon's curious.
Been a while since I last made my way up here. Need any help? As you wish.
That's a nice spot, isn't it?
What a great view! We're so high up!
Traveler, turn around.
Wow.
This is my secret base. Somewhere I only bring my best friends. When I was a student, I used to slip away and climb up here all the time, just to clear my head. I was quite young then, and hadn't made too many friends yet. Back then, I had a lot of the same questions that Zethos was asking. Who am I? Why do I have this power? And what should I be fighting for? Our gifts help us to find our rightful place in the world. That was my experience. And I'm sure Zethos will figure...
You two really are like brothers.
I feel the same way. Of course. I see no need to be humble when it comes to the facts.
I still remember one time when we came up here to chat and do our homework. Cyno accidentally dropped a fruit. Luckily, he has fast reflexes, so he caught it just in time.
That was the one and only time. Nothing will ever slip through my fingers again.
Those were good times. I kind of...
You know, Paimon really shouldn't be able to imagine Cyno doing something like that, but for some strange reason, the mental image is coming through clear as day.
Then make it stop. There's not... You guys carry on without me.
Okay.
Huh? Hey, you're not supposed to jump down!
Oh my days. I can't believe how stupid I look in this one.
Professor, what...
Cyno. Ha, just the man I'm looking for. Guess what?
Some old photos?
Can you believe it? This notebook was just sitting in a pile of odds and ends in the Sage's office. I must have forgotten to take it with me, and no one's touched it since. It was still right there. I was at the Academia earlier to discuss my workload with Nephis. I swung by the old office to have a look around and just happened across it. Well, time flies. Look how tiny you are in this picture.
You look quite young yourself in that one. Ah, it's this one. I remember that. Lisa took it, didn't she?
Yep. Looks like her work, all right. Who else could have found just the right angle to make me look so unbelievably hideous?
And this one.
Oh, cheeky girl. taking secret photos of us without our knowledge.
Is there something you'd like to say to me, Professor?
Like what? Like, these are good photos, aren't they? Hey, at moments like this, I can't pretend I'm a good person. Bamoon had every reason to despise me. And well, so do you if you feel that.
Don't be ridiculous, you old codger.
Is that not what you wanted me to say? Oh, I've dreamt of that place many times after leaving the desert. Oh, it was one of the happiest times of my life. We all learned so much from one another. You've matured so much over the years, cyno.
Since you're my professor, I should save you some face by not calling you out on all the non-answers you just gave. So...
Good thinking. Take your own advice next time. Seriously, why bully an old man like me? I thought heroes were supposed to be gracious. Hey, wait, how did I not notice this one earlier?
Lisa strikes again. Just...
Look how cute you were when you were little. I remember how well-mannered you were back then.
Yeah, and look how serious and professional you used to be.
Oh, I can't compete with you anymore. First you get better than me at the deadpan jokes, and now you're besting me at those little quips too.
Don't say that.
Hey, what would you say to meeting up with Lisa again sometime?
I'd like that. Let's find a time and pay her a visit in Mondstadt.
All right, I'll add it to my schedule. Wait, no. Next week is the tomato growing competition.
Or you could find a real hobby, Professor.